Alright, I am so excited today. I get to work on a 2018 Freeman 34. This is a beautiful boat. Worked on a couple thousand boats, never been on Freeman. So this is a treat. Okay, we got a little rain coming down. For anyone that doesn't know, Freemans are a fishing catamaran. Like I said, this is a 34, it's a twin engine model. Owner's got a new one on order with quads, 4 engines, 2 on each hull. So we're going to take a quick look at this Freeman. These are very cool, custom, super fast, super comfortable catamaran fishing boats. So you can tell this 2018 is very well cared for. We've got the double step hull. Twin 300 Mercury Verados on the back. Let's climb aboard. Alright, this particular Freeman is a no-nonsense fishing machine. Tons of room, comfortable, everything you need. And anyone in the boat world knows that Freeman is most famous, most recently for Jimmy Buffett's last Mango that he had custom built by Freeman Yachts. It was actually a pilot house version of a Freeman catamaran hull. So that just tells you it's good enough for Jimmy Buffett. It's probably a good boat. So I'm going to take a quick look here. We've got dual 24-inch Garmin displays. Those are some of the largest Garmins I've ever seen. Our 2 VHF, Verado controls, digital controls, of course. Everything is top-notch on this boat. Absolutely top-notch. And just a basic center console here for storage. We got a massive fish box here. So nice wide walk around, and we've got this massive trolling motor. Look at the size of that shaft to get it in the water. So the Psionics night vision camera. This is something I've been looking at for my boat, so cool to see it installed there. And a radar. Good looking boat. Bait station, massive live well, and then we've got our swim platform off the back. So again, a Freeman 34 2018 model. I'll look up the price of this and let you know, but this is top-notch boat. So I'm very excited to get to be on it. I see Freemans all the time on YouTube. Occasionally we'll see them around here, very rarely. So this is very cool to see. And the owner actually fishes in the Bahamas and tows this as his tender behind his larger sport fisher. So that works out pretty well for the Bahamas. The catamaran can get in a nice skinny water, real shallow draft where your larger sport fishers can't get. So it's a perfect fishing combo, and really cool to be on a Freeman. So that's all I've got for now. Okay, and welcome back to the Florida Boat Guy. And as you can see, we're doing some night boating again. My daughter Charlie is getting to do her first night camping out on the boat tonight. And with the time change and it getting the winter, it's getting dark earlier. And this has been a very good test and a good opportunity to hone in my night boating skills. We have no moon tonight whatsoever. I'll turn this light off for a second. I cannot see a single thing, barely make out the horizon. So it's been good for me to really learn to trust the radar, to read the radar, use my chart plotter, learn to look for the markers that are flashing, those that aren't, looking for those on the radar. So it's a little bit of nerve-wracking. Adjust that autopilot slightly to stay in the channel here. A little bit nerve-wracking, but you know, that's why you have something like a radar. And now, after having this radar, I cannot imagine boating without it. But definitely makes me think about some of these night vision cameras that they have, especially when I'm able to add a second chart plotter up here in the radio box. Maybe some point in the future. But for now, the radar is just a perfect peace of mind. So we're going to go tie up at the Caladesi Marina and get ready to spend the night over there. I cannot get over how dark it is out here. This is absolutely crazy. We got about a mile to go. We're inside the narrow channel into Caladesi Marina, and I got Charlie on the bow, keeping a lookout for the markers. And in these tight quarters, you can see them on radar, but it just looks like a big blob. So it's almost hard to see. Are these markers on the left or right, or am I going right into them? I mean, I know that they're there, but you know, maybe 50 yards out, we start to see the reflection of the anchor light off of them. So I've got to pay attention. All right, good morning. Another beautiful night here in Caladesi. We've learned the tricks. Always bring the bug spray, and you'll have a good time. So, passing the mangrove entrance here and headed back home. Charlie had a great time and slept really well. I put a little bit of insulation foam on this door to the cabin, and also some of the rubber gasket on the top there to kind of seal everything up, and it seems to have made a difference keeping a AC extra cold in there. So anyway, beautiful morning, and we'll touch base next time we got something interesting. Okay, good morning and welcome back to the Florida Boat Guy. Today I'm excited, continuing on boat projects, and I finally got this beautiful piece here from American Offshore Marine. I'm going to give the radio box up here some love finally. This has been a project on the to-do list for a really long time. And I'll show you. I'm going to get rid of these old speakers that were on this boat. I took off the door panel that was here, and this is what American Offshore Marine made for me. They had the cutouts for a second Garmin unit, and then my VHF radio that was just mounted in here before. So this is going to go up here. Should fit really nicely and finish off that look, really modernize this boat, give me a second screen on the Garmin, and so I'm really excited to get that up there. But first, need to get some wiring done. The power cable's connected up here, and need to talk about marine networks and how all of these devices talk and how I'm going to get those connections to work. So going to get my power connected first to the fuse block up there, and then we'll take a look at the network requirements. So as far as networking goes, these Garmin units only have one Garmin Marine network connection on the back. That means you can connect one device. And right now I have it's basically an Ethernet cable, 100 megabit standard computer Ethernet cable connects the radar to the chart plotter. So to add a second chart plotter, I actually have to add a switch. It's basically what you have with your home network on a computer. And this is the Garmin waterproof, so their version, network switch. And you can see just regular 100 megabit Ethernet connections. So I'll have one connection for each of the Garmin screens and one for the radar, and then there'll be another one open. You know, if you want to add a night vision camera or something like that, that will use these higher speed data rates. This runs at up to 100 megabits a second. So that is Garmin's proprietary network, and I had to get this expander in order to add that screen. So this is, I'm going to mount up there and run these Ethernet connections. And I've actually got some Ethernet connections already set up here. One for the radar, and then I've got one up here somewhere that goes down to the other chart plotter. Hopefully it's up here. I don't know where it went, but oh no, I think it's this one here, and then I have one going up to the radar. So now the other type of connection we have, and that's what these wires, pardon the mess, this is the NEMA 2000 network, or N2K. And that is what the majority of devices connect on any boat. I've been using NEMA 2000 networks, like I said, it came out around the year 2000. So I've been using these on every boat I've had, at least for the last 10 years. And these are the backbone cable, and then you tee off for everything you need. And they just, so each of these devices will also connect with the NEMA 2000. The NEMA 2000 network runs at 250 KB. That's industry standard, and that's pretty slow. So quick math,
the Garmin Marine running over these Ethernet cables run 400 times faster than a standard NEMA 2000. But 250 kb is plenty for devices to talk to each other. So what connects to the NEMA 2000? So here's the back of the VHF radio. There's the NEMA 2000 connector right there. So that exchanges data with the chart plotter, telling it current GPS location. Also the AIS data is received from the VHF that sends it back to the chart plotter. Everything else I have connected on my new NEMA 2000 network. The radio head unit. So all the radio controls, what you're playing, is all shared with the chart plotter. The autopilot is powered and controlled with NEMA 2000. The engine gauge, NEMA 2000. So all of that data talks. I can look at all my engine hours, service codes, RPM, oil pressure, temperature. All that is fed over the network, which is really cool that all these devices talk. The other thing is I've got a GPS antenna on the hardtop. That's NEMA 2000. I also have a heading sensor, the actual autopilot pump itself, and then the autopilot computer, all connected over NEMA 2000. So quite a bit here, and the entire boat talks to itself over NEMA 2000. The only thing that's used in the Garmin network is, like I said, the radar and then the 2 units. So, but every boat has these, and they're real simple to install. They're cheap. The cables are all waterproof. Everything gets certified through NEMA, the National Marine Electronics Association. So I'm gonna try and clean this up, get my power cables, and get the Garmin network screwed in and attached somewhere up here, and go from there. Okay, so there's one other marine network protocol that we need to talk about, and that's the J0183. And the J0183 is kind of old school. I've used it in the past, like I said, probably at least 10 years ago, to connect the chart plotter with the VHF. That was kind of an early adoption when we had devices that needed to talk to each other. And then I've used it with the old Yamaha gauges to connect to the chart plotter to get GPS information. I do not use any of the 0183 on this boat, but these are the wires for it. So they're typically just bare wires. You have to connect the positive and negative transmit and the positive negative receive, and typically there's a common ground. So you've got all these wires. Everything does support it, but the N2K, the NEMA 2000, is so much easier. So here are my NEMA 2000, and I'm getting ready because I've got to connect the VHF, the new chart plotter, and then I'm finally connecting the GPS antenna on the roof to the NEMA network. So these are the T connectors, and they're real easy. Like I said, everything's waterproof. You just connect them together, screw them tight. There's O-rings in there to keep the water out. This is the drop cable that goes back down to the rest of the network. I'm going to connect these. Okay, so then I've got my 3 drop cables, GPS antenna, VHF, and second chart plotter. And then I've got my 120 ohm terminator. I'm going to put that on the end here. That tells the network that's the end of the line, and that's the last device. So we've got 120 ohm connector on the back end, and then one on the front end behind the dash here. Combined, you get 60 ohms of resistance to complete the network, and that is how you complete it. If I were to add another drop T, just take that off, add another T, you could add another device, and always that resistor goes on the end of the connection, and that completes that network. So now I've got all these drop cables ready to go. Okay, so a little messy. I'm going to clean all this up, of course, but the Garmin network box is connected, and we can see currently I've got the dash chart plotter and the radar connected, power to it, and you can see they're communicating just fine. So once I connect to the second chart plotter, it should connect to this network. And one note, the 2 networks don't talk to each other, and I learned this lesson on another boat. I thought if I had a NEMA 2000 connected to one device on the Garmin network, that Garmin network would share the NEMA 2K network data over the Garmin Ethernet. Not the case. Each Garmin device also needs to be connected to the NEMA 2000 network as well as the Garmin network to get all of the data across all the devices. So that is why I had to do the additional drop T and connect it to this Ethernet box. So the chart plotter will be connected to both networks. Okay, so now all the connections are made. I'm ready to drill my first pilot hole and get this panel lined up where I want it. I'll get one screw in there and then take it back down, make all the connections on the VHF. I should be able to install the chart plotter with this panel up there. Just run the cables through that pre-drilled hole. So we're gonna do the pilot hole first and then go from there. Okay, so this beautiful panel is screwed in. My only mistake is not going a little bit higher to cover where those hinges were. But otherwise looks pretty good. So final step's going to be connecting these cables to the Garmin unit here and screwing that into the pre-drilled holes on the panel, and that should do it. And then test everything, make sure the network's talking, and we should be all set. Okay, here's the final product. Everything seems to be talking to each other, and I'm going to go here and I've got to find it in the menu here. Okay, so the unit powered up just fine. You can see it's actually communicating with the engine. It's reading the hours, and well, that's the air temperature right now because the engine's not on, but it is communicating with it. So now I've got all of my charts here, and then sonar. Want to do that? It's reading, so I'll set this up with. I'll probably just leave it at the sonar for now. I mean, it looks like everything I've got here is connected and talking. So that's great news. And then it looks like the radar is communicating as well. And so on this top unit, if I want to go to the radar, I can do that here. I can do dual band, dual view. You know, we can zoom in on this one and look at a larger view on this side. So that's kind of cool about having two screens. If I want to do the radar up there, and if I just want a nav chart down here, I can look up at my radar, add the radar here, whatever I want to do here. So that second display is really nice. Okay, all finished up on the front side of this radio box, and I love it. It looks really good. Again, another shout out to American Offshore Fishing. Go to their website. They've partnered with me a little bit, gave me some discounts since I featured them on this YouTube channel. And the cool thing is now they have all of these panels in their system, so anyone with a Grady White 208 can come order these exact panels, customize them for whatever devices you have, but they've got all the measurements, electrical panel, dash, radio box, all on their website. So go check them out, AmericanOffshoreFishing.com, if you need any panels. Final thing, and I'm not going to get to it today, but I've got these old speakers that a prior owner put in, cut out these holes. I don't know what they were doing with these speakers. There's actually a video of this boat on YouTube back when it was for sale in 2018, I believe. And it kind of shows the original. There was a little radio up in that box and those speakers. It's funny, these speakers are just way up here pointing out to sea, so I don't know who was supposed to hear them, but they don't look great. They're old, they're not hooked up to anything, and I really just want to get them out of there and cover up these holes in the radio box to kind of finish off the look. So I'm gonna work on that, maybe get some starboard cut to replace those, and then this radio box should be complete. So anyway, really happy with this project, glad everything worked. It was one of the easier ones that I've done, and excited to go try this out hopefully next week and get the displays set up and get used to using two of them. So that's all I've got on this project for now.